You know that feeling? That kind of constant low-grade hum of being overwhelmed, maybe a little disconnected, even numb? And you can't quite put your finger on why. It feels so personal, right? But what if it isn't? What if it's something we've inherited? Today, we're going to trace that feeling back to its source, and trust me, the answer is probably not what you think.
Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. We've got all this technology, all this so-called progress, literally endless ways to connect with each other. So why do so many of us feel like we're just running on fumes? Well, here's the thing. The answer isn't about some personal failing. It's about a huge collective story that, turns out, we've been living in without even realizing it.
First up, there's this: constant exhaustion. And I'm not talking about I missed my coffee tired. This is that deep, bone-weary feeling, you know? The kind where your to-do list just keeps growing, but your own battery is always stuck on red.
Or maybe it's the flip side of that. Not too much feeling, but almost no feeling at all. Like you're just feeling numb. You know you're supposed to be happy about something or sad or whatever, but it's all just muted. Kind of like you're just watching yourself go through the motions of your own life.
And then there's this one, the deep loneliness. And this is the great paradox of our time, isn't it? We're surrounded by people, we're hyper-connected online, but there's this huge sense of being totally alone. Look, if any of this is ringing a bell for you, I want you to know you are so not the only one feeling it. And there's a reason. To really get it, though, we need to take a step back, way back.
Okay, so I want you to picture a family dinner table, sometime around 1946. The war is over, the soldiers are home, but they didn't come back whole, right? And in that quiet, a new rule was born. It wasn't spoken, it was just understood. It settled over everything, just like this quote says, "We do not feel too much. We do not ask. We just carry on."
And that gets to the absolute core of this whole thing. See, after the wars, we got really good at rebuilding the outside world. You know, the cities, the economies, all the infrastructure. But what we never stopped to rebuild were our own internal systems, our nervous systems. Instead, our entire society just unconsciously reorganized around the wounds. It created a brand new normal that was all about survival, not about actually thriving.
So how did that even happen? Well, this is how. Think about it. The exact things people had to do to just get by, like shutting down their emotions, suddenly got relabeled. They weren't seen as trauma responses anymore. They were praised as virtues. Pushing your feelings down? That's not trauma. That's strength. Doing what you're told without question? That's respect and discipline. Not talking about painful family stuff? That's privacy or loyalty. All these survival hacks literally hardened into our most cherished cultural values.
And that is what we're talking about when we say generational trauma. It's when the survival patterns of one generation don't just get taught to the next. They become the very air they breathe. They become the cultural norms. It's like being handed an invisible script for how to be a person, and you don't even know you're reading from it.
I love this quote because it just nails it. The trauma stopped being this big, scary event that happened over there. It became the water everyone was swimming in. It got so deeply baked into our schools, our jobs, our families, that we couldn't even see it anymore. It wasn't trauma, it was just life. Totally invisible, but quietly shaping absolutely everything.
So the result of all of this was a massive imbalance. As a culture, we poured all our energy into developing one side of ourselves. We got amazing at rationality, productivity, analysis, efficiency, all that stuff. But the other side, the muscles for emotional resilience, for feeling truly safe with other people, for building real community, well, they just atrophied. They didn't get used, so they got weak. It's like our brains got supercharged, but our hearts got left behind.
And this brings us right back to where we started. The human cost of that imbalance, it's all those feelings we talked about. It's why burnout gets mistaken for dedication. It's how we can be perfectly high-functioning on the outside, killing it at work, getting things done, while feeling completely empty and hollow on the inside. It's a state that some people call functional freeze. We built this incredible protective armor for ourselves, but we forgot that there's a living, feeling person inside that needs to be nourished.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a hopeful turn. You have to be asking, why is all this coming up now? What's so special about this moment? Well, it's because for the first time in a long time, enough of us are safe enough to finally feel again.
Each generation has chipped away at the ice. The silent generation endured, the boomers stabilized, Gen X started pointing out the cracks, millennials started talking about it and finding the words, and now Gen Z is just refusing to pretend the system is okay. We're in the middle of a great thawing.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway from this whole thing. All the stuff that feels like chaos right now, the anxiety, the burnout, everyone questioning everything, that feeling of, I just can't do this anymore, it's not a sign that society is failing. It's a sign that our collective nervous system is finally thawing out. It's a healing process. And healing, as we know, is almost never neat and tidy. It's messy.
So, what's the path forward? Where do we go from here? Well, it seems to be about rebalancing on 3 different levels, all at once. Step 1 is personal. It's about us as individuals, learning how to actually feel our feelings and regulate our own nervous systems. Step 2 is relational, relearning how to connect with each other in ways that feel safe and true. And step 3 is collective, actually redesigning the systems we live in, our jobs, our communities, to put human well-being first.
Now let's be really clear about what this rebalancing is and what it isn't. This is not about abandoning logic or getting rid of all structure. It's not about descending into emotional chaos. It's about integration. It's about reuniting logic with compassion. It's about creating structures that actually support us as human beings. It's about finding safety through genuine connection, not just through top-down control.
So the final thought I want to leave you with is this. Healing this inherited imbalance, it's not about going backward. It's not about becoming weaker or less capable. It's actually an evolutionary step forward. It's about us, right now, finishing a healing process that our ancestors literally couldn't afford to even start. It's about integrating the parts of ourselves that were split apart by trauma, so we can finally become whole. And the real question, the one that gets me excited is, what becomes possible for all of us when we do?